I've got you. All right, if you would all bear with us for a moment as I start our live stream for our LinkedIn audience. As you can see, we have Seema Sahay here with us. And take me just a moment to get this started. And okay, very good. Welcome to our LinkedIn live audience, our YouTube live audience, and of course, everyone here on WebEx with us. And I'm here with Seema Sahay, who will be speaking with us about creating a mindset for career success in 2023. Before I turn it over to Seema, we have a couple of things to get us started. Okay. Seema, are you seeing my screen?
Yes, I am.
Okay. And we want to start by letting you know that if you're on the WebEx application, you can put your questions in the Q&A panel. We'll take those toward the end of the session in the Q&A portion. And if you're on one of the streaming services, please put your questions into the chat or comment box. And we'll start off also before we get to Seema's questions here. Second. Okay. Okay. Hold on for a moment while I give me a moment while I rejoin the webinar. my God. Oh my bloody.
What happened? Something.
Hello,
something.
are you able to hear me again?
Yes, Stuart, I can hear you very clearly. Yeah.
I apologize. WebEx froze on my desktop.
Okay.
I think. Give me just a moment. Seema, I will try to give you the sharing privilege so that you can begin the information. We'll deal with the polls later. Hold on a second. Give me just a couple moments while I rejoin the webinar. And if you haven't already, Seema, please do introduce yourself.
Okay, so can I share?
Not quite yet.
Okay,
I'm having a system
let me just
difficulty.
start and then when you tell me, I'll share the screen. Yeah.
All right, very good. Hold on a second.
This is the presentation that you're running. Okay, now it's okay.
All right. I apologize for the technical difficulties here.
Yeah, that happens so many times, doesn't it? If you want, I can start, but I would need the
Yeah, I'm trying to
presentation.
give you the sharing privilege. Hold on.
Yes.
You should have the sharing privilege now.
Yes, I do. I do. Let me share the screen. And so can you see my screen, Stuart?
Yes.
Yes? Okay. So, good evening, everyone. I hope I am audible and there seems to be some technical glitch, but now I think that's fine. So, good evening, Stuart, and I hope you can hear me.
Yes, everything's working from your end.
Okay, great. So, here's a short introduction about me, and it's a pleasure to be here today, this evening, on the platform of Simplilearn. I am Seema Sahay. I'm a career enhancement coach, author, communication specialist, personal branding strategist, keynote speaker, international English trainer, and voice coach. And I have over 24 years of experience in education training, academics, and coaching. And basically, as a career enhancement coach, I enable aspirants and professionals to secure and enhance and grow their jobs with certain skills. And these are functional career skills. And I am an internationally certified TTT and soft skills trainer and a corporate communications trainer, as I just said. I am also the author of 2 books. The first one is Secure Scale Skyrocket, 9 Career Skills for Professional Success. And I have been editor of an international magazine called Indian Dairyman. And I have influenced and impacted over 20,000 people globally. And my mission is to help 1 million people skyrocket their careers. So this, in short, is a brief introduction about me. And without wasting much time, the topic for today is creating a mindset for career success in 2023. Now, it's almost the end of the year. It is 21st December, almost the end of the year, and hopefully the end of almost 2 or 3 years of pandemic that had brought the world upside down for us. And I hope that all of us are doing well, and I'm sure all of us are doing well and, in an upbeat mood for the ensuing year. And yes, it has not been a rosy, it has not been rosy, and it is not going to be rosy ahead, as well. There's a talk of looming recession. There have been massive layoffs, and there is a general sense of instability. So, nevertheless, as we ponder over the year gone by, the positives far outweigh the negatives. And to ensure that it remains like that, we have to put in our best efforts no matter what the situation. So, because of the emerging career trends, which we'll be talking about, the emerging career trends requires us to have new skill sets or to have enhanced skill sets. But more important than that is the need to inculcate the right mindset for achieving professional growth and fulfillment. So let me begin by showing you a picture. So any guesses who this person is on the screen? If you can write it in the chat, that'll be nice. You can mention it in the chat. Who is this person in the picture? Maybe if I can show you another picture, it'll be even more clear. So, yes, who hasn't heard of KFC, Kentucky Fried Chicken, and so many of us have savored it. But a lot of us don't know the story behind its founder, and that is Colonel Harlan Sanders. So this is the first picture, and that is the first picture. The person is Colonel Harlan Sanders. So he was a school dropout, and later on he, of course, opened a restaurant which he wanted to franchise. But his recipe of chicken got rejected 1,009 times. 1,009 times before it was finally accepted. So the lesson over here is that, and this recipe, of course, it later on went on to become the secret recipe of Kentucky Fried Chicken. And the lesson over here is do not be disheartened by failure, and resilience should be the name of the game. So this is what, as we go into 23, this is what the mantra should be, that do not let failure pull you back. If you have the courage of your convictions, if you believe in what if you believe in what you want to do, then you will overcome all kinds of failure. So that is the message over here. And now another picture, and no prizes for guessing this one. Yes, this is the iconic author J.K. Rowling of Harry Potter fame. And we've all heard how her manuscript Harry Potter manuscript got rejected 12 times before it was finally accepted and accepted by a publisher, Bloomsbury. So again, this displays the never say die spirit of the author, or the resilient spirit of the author again. And then we move on to one of my most favorite books, and it is just 90 pages long. It has a wealth of meaning and learning, and it has four characters: two little mice and two little people. So, two mice and two little people, and they live in a maze and they feed on cheese. Any guess what I'm talking about? Which book am I talking about? No guesses? Okay. So the book is yes, Joseph Wilson, Who Moved My Cheese? A lot of you must have read it. And so these four characters, they feed on cheese. And when the cheese gets over, the two little mice, that is Scurry, Sniff and Scurry, they look for new cheese. While the two little people, they feel betrayed and they feel depressed and they feel deprived and they feel that life hasn't treated them fairly. And they stay in a rut all the time. So again, the lesson here is change is the only constant. So if we want growth, we need to move out of our comfort zones and look for new cheese, so to say. And so even when the odds are against us, and with a little shift in our perspective, with a little shift in our mindset, we can achieve what we have set out to do with the correct attitude in 2023. So, as I said, the change of mindset is required. You can call it the growth mindset, abundance, mindset of abundance, positive mindset, job seekers mindset, a mindset of excellence, or career success mindset. And that is why, since your mind is such a powerful weapon, today, as I begin my session, I will be focusing on three important things. And these are how to create the correct mindset for personal and professional growth, how to have the correct mindset to decide which emerging career trends are right for you, and how to upskill and reskill for career success. So in 2023, when you are working towards your success goals, success would definitely depend on your qualifications, your experience, your education, the right opportunities that you get, your skills, your personal brand. But more important than that, more than anything else, it will depend on whether you are success oriented or whether you have a success oriented mindset or a growth mindset. So because the technology and is advancing very fast, very rapidly, and the nature of work post pandemic has been changing very, very rapidly. So you need to keep on learning new skills to remain competitive. Now, according to a McKinsey report, about 375 million workers globally will need to change roles or learn new skills by 2030. So it is obvious that people are not going to be hired for what they know, but they are going to be hired for their ability to learn what they do not know. So that concept of continuous learning, that concept of evolving continuously is very important, and it will play a very crucial role in your career success. So according to, again, a survey by Evolution published in LinkedIn, 96% of people see a positive impact of continuous learning on work performance, and 78% people see it as a factor in promotions and career growth and an enhanced paycheck. And here, the importance of the right or the correct mindset cannot be negated. So when we talk of mindsets, please note that there are two kinds of mindset. First is the fixed mindset, and the second is the growth mindset. So, Carol Dweck, in her book Mindset, the New Psychology of Success, says that the way we think about our abilities, our capabilities, our talents defines and determines whether we are successful or not. So, if you believe your intelligence, your creativity, your talents, your character are static, they cannot be changed and they cannot be improved upon, and you accept it unquestioningly, then you have a fixed mindset. So, most probably, you will stagnate in your careers, and you will not, simply because you will not aspire for more challenging opportunities because you think you're not capable of them. On the other hand, if you believe that your qualities, your skills, your thought patterns, your habits, your mindset, your psychology of thinking, all these things, if you think they can be improved with practice, they can be improved with effort, conscious effort, so then you will continue to evolve, and that is the hallmark of a growth mindset. So this is what is very important to keep in mind. So when we talk of a growth mindset or a success mindset, we need to see it as an all-inclusive phenomena. You cannot have a success mindset only vis-a-vis your career, because your professional life is going to flourish only if you nourish your personal life. So there is a very famous motivational speaker called Jim Rohn, and he has said that his focus was only on his job initially. He wanted to make a lot of money, he wanted to have success in his career, but only when he started focusing on his own personal development did he see great enhancement in his career. So it is very important to invest in yourself, and in order to see returns in your career, you must first focus on your own personal growth. So, the number one belief that leads to the number one habit that leads to the number one mindset is, as far as the personal development is concerned, as far as self growth is concerned, is to follow the rope principle. Now, what is the rope principle? ROPE. It is the rate of personal evolution. The rate of personal evolution. So, your quest in life should be to grow in all walks of life. So, mistakenly, we focus only on our careers. Our careers can grow only if we grow ourselves. So, to have more, you have to simply become more. So, in the beginning of your career, go for intensive and deep learning. More knowledge, more skills will give you the first mover's advantage. And in fact, start when you are still studying. As a student, explore more opportunities, explore those activities which you are passionate about, which you are interested in. Go for volunteering activities, go for internships, and try to solve problems. Go for networking and try to see whether you can solve problems for people, because not only will it be a learning experience, you will also realize, you will also be aware what are the things, what are the domains you are interested in, and you want to improve your skills in that domain. It will also teach you, on the other hand, what you are not very passionate about and what you do not want to do in the future. So that is why the rope principle is very, very important. And an actionable strategy for all young professionals is, don't look for less problems, look for more skills. Not less problems, but more skills should be your motto. And an actionable strategy for all professionals is, work hard and work smart on your career, but work hard and work more smart on your personal development. So work on yourself more than, and then only will you see the returns in your career. So work on acquiring the relevant skills and make yourself more valuable in the marketplace. If you do that, very soon you will find that the golden rule has become your income is directly proportionate to your attitude, to your skills, to your abilities, to your talents, to your thought patterns, to your personality, and not to the economy. So this is one thing going forward we have to keep in mind. Do not just blame the economy or the situation that is around, but work on yourself. That is very important. So when you think of crafting an effective and satisfying career, there are three things to be kept in mind. First, does it provide me professional fulfillment? Now, this means, does it meet my expectations and my skill sets? The second is, does it give me the remuneration that I deserve? Now, this will happen only if your work is creating some impact, some value to others in your organization or to your company as a whole. So ask yourself, what is it I can do? What is it? Am I going beyond my job description? Am I doing something else, something more than what the job requires? And the third thing also is very important. Does it provide a culture where my personal values and vision are aligned with those of the organization? Now, this is so because your personal values and your personal development is, as I said, intrinsically linked to your professional development, your professional growth. And so, what are some of the ways in which you can invest in yourself, in your self-evolution? So, this is the question that we need to answer. And that is why let us look at 6 key components of developing personal excellence in 2023. What is the first one? Be a continuous learner. So people with a success mindset have a childlike curiosity of learning new things, of exploring new things. And the best way to feed this intellectual curiosity is by reading, and reading voraciously. So inspirational books, motivational books, biographies, and self-improvement books, fiction, non-fiction, whatever drives you, all of them are going to have a tremendous impact on the way you think, on the way you behave, and the way you communicate. So isn't that wonderful for our own personal brand? And personal brand is very, very important in this quest for a satisfying career. So that is the first one. The next is failure is good, accepted. It might sound contradictory, but all successful people know that this is true. You have to view failure as a positive entity. Now, why? Because your mistakes will provide learnings to you. Steven Spielberg was rejected from film school 3 times before he was finally accepted. And we have all heard of Oprah Winfrey. She was thought unsuitable to become a news anchor, and she was dismissed from her job. Later on, of course, she went on to become one of the most iconic television hosts of all time. So, as my mentor has also said, I also try to follow this principle. My mentor had said, make a mess, but let that mess be a message for others. So I have made a lot of messes, because my career trajectories have been very different and diverse all throughout. And so that is why you cannot really say that failure is not a learning experience. The next one is develop a long-term vision. Now, it's very important to set actionable goals for yourself in all areas of life, be it personal, be it professional. So in this regard, there is one tip which you can execute, and that is follow the 25 by 25 rule. What is the 25 by 25 rule? Make a list of the top 25 personal and professional goals that are most important to you. Out of these, pick the top five or the most crucial five, five of the goals, and these are your top five goals. Focus on them only. The caveat is accomplish those five goals in the time frame which you have set. Do not look at the other 20. Keep away from the other 20. Why? Because there are a lot of times when we are distracted by too many other things. We want to do it all, we want to achieve it all, we find so many things interesting, and we find so many things tempting, and we want to do it. Now, this kind of an attitude is called the shiny object syndrome, and we think that, okay, some other person is achieving so many goals, let me also do that. This distracts us from our key areas of focus, and our growth is hampered. So this kind of a long-term vision is very important. The next one is challenge yourself. You are getting a good paycheck, you have a steady job, and chances are you will get very comfortable in your job. So when you find yourself doing routine jobs, when you find that there is nothing very challenging or creative about your job, please understand that you have stopped growing. So again, always look for more exciting and more diverse opportunities and experiences. So I can again give my own example. I started as an academic and I was teaching English for several years before I went on to teach mass communication. Then I became an editor of a magazine. Later on, I became an author and, of course, a corporate trainer. So all these have been learning experiences. I have been challenging myself to learn different kinds of things and have different kinds of experiences. So keep raising the bar constantly. And in fact, there is a Japanese term called Kaizen. So there is a Japanese term which means Kaizen, which means how can I do even better? So ask yourself, how can I go the extra mile in my organization? How can I provide more value? So this kind of challenge, these kind of challenges are very important. The next is always welcome feedback. So there is a popular adage, and that says feedback is the breakfast of champions. So at your workplace, try to find a mentor. If you're not working, try to find a mentor again. So it could be at your workplace, it could be your co-workers and one of your co-workers, your manager, your colleague, anyone. And do not be scared and do not shun constructive criticism, because people with a growth mindset, people with a learning mindset, they always welcome this kind of criticism and judgment because it enables them to improve their own performance in the areas in which they are lacking. So feedback is always good. And the last but not the least, never fear competition. So today, jobs are scarce and roles are limited and talent is abundant. So obviously, there will be competition at the workplace. But people, again, with a positive mindset are not scared of it. In fact, they are inspired and motivated by the achievements of their peers, of their colleagues, of their seniors, and even subordinates, of people from the other department. Because again, it spurs them to do their best and to sort of challenge themselves, to improve themselves in other areas in which they are not up to the mark. So these are the 6 strategies through which you can develop personal excellence, and it will always reflect in your career graph. So now, as we look ahead to 2023, it is important to reflect on your career path of the past 1 year. Ask yourself a few questions. Could you achieve the goals you had set out for yourself? What were the successes, the challenges, the learnings? Is your career where you want it to be? If not, what do you need to do about it? Do you need to learn a different or a new skill set? Or do you need to strengthen the existing ones? You had envisioned a life for yourself in the beginning of the year and you had set goals. Is your work contributing into making that kind of life? So these are some of the questions you should now ask yourself, because your choice of career and success will depend on all these factors. After this checklist, which will give you a meta view of all aspects, you can set fresh goals for 23. And
Seema,
now that we have...
I'm going to put a short survey that you've asked me to share into the chat for everyone. So it'll come right up in the chat for everyone. Please go to that link when you have a chance. Thank you. Just wanted to let you know that I was doing that.
Yeah, so this is, I think, a short form, and you just need to fill it in and submit it. Okay, good to go?
Looks like people have finished, yeah.
Yes. So now that we have brought about a shift in perspective through our mindsets, we have learned about the rope principle, we have learned how personal investment and growth is very important. Let us look at some of the most popular jobs and discover what the emerging career trends are going to be. So these are 12 best paying jobs in 23. These are called the jobs of the future, the jobs for tomorrow. Let us briefly talk of the skill requirements as well of all these jobs. The first one is data science or data analysis. Now, this will always be relevant because these jobs are future proof. As far as core or domain skills for this for acing this kind of a job go, you need to have a basic knowledge of coding. You need to have, data analysis, maths, and stats abilities. As far as your functional career skills or your power skills, or as they are called soft skills go, you must have good presentation skills. The next one is machine learning and AI, artificial intelligence. Now, now this is organizations value this a lot because it is a way to protect their businesses from future disruptions. Now, the core skills required over here would be software designing and programming, etc. And the power skills or soft skills would be good communications, problem solving abilities, continuous learning, and time management. The next is healthcare and healthcare support. Again, this is always in demand, but this grew especially during the pandemic, and because health was the most important thing at that time. And quality healthcare, of course, is always in demand. So the core skills over here would be awareness about the latest medical practices, and the power skills would be your interpersonal competencies. That is your ability to communicate with patients. You should have the aptitude to educate patients, and that is why your communications will be very important. The fourth is business or marketing analysis. And a marketing analyst is expected to analyze data, sets of market segments or campaigns and come up with usable insights. So the core skills over here, you require both scientific knowledge and business acumen. And the soft skills would be, again, communications, which is important all across, and critical thinking. The next is project management. Project management. About 89% organizations have at least one project management officer. The core skills a project manager would require, they should ensure that all resources are utilized in the most efficient way. And the power skills would be people management, leadership, efficient planning, strategizing, time management, communication skills, adaptability because it involves overseas travel. And these are a host of transferable skills that would come in good stead for a project manager. The next is human resources. Again, always in demand. It is an essential part of any organization, and this has seen a lot of transformation during the pandemic and post-pandemic as well, because the nature of work has changed from online to hybrid to it has work from anywhere. So it has seen a lot of changes. Here, the core skills required would be to enable the workforce to adapt and adopt new working models. And the power skills would be, they should have, again, great communication skills and interpersonal skills and the ability for team orientation. So these are some of the skills for human resources people. Next is digital marketing. Again, the scope has only grown post-pandemic because the nature of work has changed and technology has been changing rapidly. So the core skills would be a thorough understanding of SEO, of keywords, and of affiliate marketing. And the power skills would be great communications all throughout, because you need to create a lot of content as well. So some other best paying jobs, well paying jobs are product management, cloud architect, cyber security, financial management, and management consulting. I will quickly run through all of these. So a product manager develops products and services for customers, and he has to pitch ideas pitch his ideas in a very clever manner. So the soft skills that would be required are critical thinking and analytical skills, and he or she should have a problem solving bent of mind. As far as a cloud architect goes, they focus on the future. They plan and design strategies and systems to meet customer requirements. So the core skills would be coding in Java, Python, etc. And the soft skills would be networking and communication, because you need to explain your ideas very well over here. The next is cyber security. It is important because there have been so many instances of crime and breaches on the internet. So the core skills would be scripting, regulatory guidelines should be known to the person, privacy laws should be known to the person. And the soft skills would be collaboration, because you need to work with others. Maybe you need to work with other departments like legal, the IT, the PR, etc. Then we have financial management. You manage the investment portfolio of your company. That is your role as a financial manager. So the core skills are risk management and business acumen. And the soft skills are you need to have good presentation skills. And the last is management consulting, providing consulting services to organizations to improve their business. So these are just some of the jobs you can look out for going forward, and you must develop the transferable skills for all these jobs specifically, and so that you can adapt to the job and the role you are expected to perform. Now, this is because in a recent LinkedIn data, it shows that the skill sets of jobs have changed by around 25% since 2015, and by 2027, the number is expected to double. And that is why a skills first mindset is imperative. Now, as I said, there is a very common misconception that in order to survive in today's job scenario, we need to develop high technological and scientific skills. Yes, they are important, they are necessary, but equally, if not more crucial, would be developing your people skills, the skills, the functional career skills that we have been talking about. Because hard skills are domain specific, power skills or soft skills are people skills, and they are more nuanced. And in this age of collaboration, in this age of hybrid work, of innovative approaches, the intangible soft skills can drive successful work environments. So they consist, what are soft skills? Basically, they consist of your personal characteristics and your personal traits. And soft skills can be said to have a sum of your mindsets and your behaviors. So, for instance, if you are a lifelong learner, or if you are highly resilient, or you are adaptable, it actually speaks of your mindset. Similarly, if you have characteristics of being a critical thinker, of being curious, of being an active listener, of solving a problem creatively, they speak of your behaviors. And hence, soft skills are an amalgam of the correct mindset and the correct behaviors. And if you have this, if you can develop this, then you will immediately be noticed at your workplace. You will be noticed by the people who are interviewing you, who are employing you, and of course, later on when you start working at your workplace. So this is what soft skills is about. And how can you differentiate between hard skills and soft skills? Like, let us take an example. So if you are very confident about handling a particular software, that is your hard skill. However, if you can analyze different softwares and figure out what a company should use, it requires critical thinking, and that is a soft skill. And so, as I said, it can be assumed that your qualifications and your experience can get you an interview, it can get you a job, but to sustain, scale, and enhance that job and get promoted, maybe into a leadership role, you need these power skills or soft skills. So, this is the importance of soft skills in our career growth. Now, let us look at some of these important soft skills that are highly valued, and you can see that, of course, these are the top 15 skills of 2025, and you can see that most of them are functional skills. Apart from technological skills, most of them are functional skills, and that is why we are stressing on the importance of developing them. So, now let us look at some of these important soft skills that would be highly valued in the near future in 2023, and how you can develop them at work. So the first one is creativity. Now, this is your ability to generate new and original ideas. Inventiveness and innovation are hallmarks of creativity. So, your ability to solve complex problems and communicate in an insightful manner displays your creativity. Now, this skill is important because the world is continuously getting automated. And however, creativity cannot be replicated by AI, by artificial intelligence, and that is why this skill will always be in demand. So let me give you some actionable tips for developing creativity. What you can do is you can try new things at the workplace, go out of your comfort zone, and you can think creatively perhaps how to cut costs at the organization where you are working. You can also think creatively and talk about, yes, think beyond your limits. You can think creatively and talk about yourself. You can talk about your organization. You can talk about your organization's product or services in a very creative manner, maybe on social media platforms. That again displays your creativity. So, this is the first one. And the next is collaboration. Collaboration is how to get people to work together more efficiently. So, generally, a common incentive drives people to collaborate. And if you can understand that common incentive and the end results it will bring to you or your team or your organization, you have mastered this skill. So, understand why collaboration is important. And the process of collaboration will enhance team spirit and it will lead to more innovative problem solving. Again, actionable tips to develop this skill. If you are a team leader, perhaps be aware of certain characteristics or be aware of the talents of each member of your team and what they can offer. So that will help. Of course, respect diversity, respect, people are working in your workplace from different backgrounds. Respect all that and develop an empathetic attitude. And the third one is learn to delegate tasks. Do not keep everything to yourself. The more you delegate, the more collaboration you will find happening at your workplace. So this is the second one. And now we come to the art of persuasion. Now, persuasion is often mistaken for manipulation. So, persuasion is not about manipulating people. It is to advance everyone's standpoint, not just yours. So, it is getting your point across effectively, and it is very useful for people in the sales and marketing fields. And another thing is an actionable tip how you can cultivate this soft skill of persuasion is when you are looking for a promotion, when you are looking to secure a new job, when you are looking for a plum assignment that you want to do, for a role that you want to have, then you can use this technique, this tactics of persuasion by putting yourself in the spotlight and making the other person, maybe your boss or your manager or whoever it is who is interviewing you, making them aware why you are the best candidate for this job, why you are the best fit for this role. So that is how you can use the art of persuasion. Next is critical thinking, a very important skill. Critical thinking involves defining the problem, asking questions about it, evaluating the evidence, and then considering potential solutions. So it is an invaluable skill because it will help you in your career to make better decisions. Actionable tip for critical thinking. Try to be objective and free from biases and judgments. So when you look at any situation, try to be objective about it. For instance, every day we are subjected to a lot of information overload. We are bombarded with so much of information. Now, it is very important to use your discretion for anything that the media is feeding you. Use your discretion and remain objective about it. This habit will lead to a lot of critical thinking. The next is adaptability. Now, as we know, the world is constantly changing and people are working together in different time zones, different geographies, different cultures, different races, people from different backgrounds, all are working together at the workplace. So you need to be adaptable. Also, maybe a workplace situation or challenge in a US city would be very different from a workplace challenge in an Asian city. So you need to understand the challenges, you need to respond to change, and you need to be resilient, and you need to be adaptable. If you are adaptable, you will get more opportunities, and you should understand that there is not a one size fits all solutions. Also, yesterday's problems will not solve yesterday's solutions will not form today's problems. So try to evolve all the time, try to be flexible, and try to be adaptable. Now, actionable tip for that: since the world is increasingly becoming volatile and complex, you need to be a continuous learner, a conscious learner. Remain flexible in your attitude and aim to invest in yourself and constantly keep on reinventing yourself. The next is time management. Again, a very important skill. Here, prioritization is the name of the game. It is important to write down your short-term and your long-term goals, both personal and professional, and work according to that plan. You should also try to find a balance between your personal goals and your professional goals. Actionable tips, there are so many. Make to-do lists, have time blocking charts, or make use of some excellent apps like Pomodoro, or follow Stephen Covey's 4-quadrant matrix. This is my favorite, the 4-quadrant matrix of do, delete, delay, and delegate. So these are based on your task, whether they are urgent or important. So based on the urgency and importance, you can either do, delegate, delay, or delete your task. So that is very important. This is a very important way in which you can manage your time well. And another tip which is also very important is learn to appreciate other people's timelines. Learn to appreciate other people's deadlines, not just your own. So this is about time management. Next, we have leadership. Now, it's a misconception that you can display leadership skills only when you are, in a team situation, when you are a manager, when you are a CEO, or when, in the CXO levels. Leadership is actually about solving problems and conflicts, and it is about inspiring people. So you need competence, you need assertiveness, and you need emotional intelligence. That is very important because you need to manage your emotions as well as the other people's emotions. You should have a very good understanding of that. And the actionable tip is help people to move towards common goals and get them to work together efficiently. And the most important tip again is make your actions speak louder than words. Let that influence and motivate people at any stage of your career. You will have this leadership quality if you can do that. And while we were talking about leadership, how can emotional intelligence be behind? So it is a highly sought after skill, and you need this in all aspects of life. So humans are not always rational. They often react with their emotions. Now, at the workplace, emotional quotient or emotional intelligence will help you to avoid overreacting to situations. It will help you to avoid overreacting to people, and it will help you to avoid bringing your emotional baggage into the workplace. For instance, if you lose your cool with your boss or even with your co-workers, you might have to pay a heavy price for that. So a high degree of emotional quotient will make you more confident. And actionable tip for developing emotional intelligence is always be mindful of your behavior at the workplace. Next, we come to the next very important skill of decisiveness. Now here, just avoid having endless debates and thoughts and pointless discussions over a topic or situation, because nobody likes a person who is inflicted with analysis paralysis. We have heard of analysis paralysis, and that is keep on thinking and keep on analyzing a situation until you find no solution to it. So nobody likes that. Learn to take informed decisions, because this quality of making calculated decisions faster than other people will be useful when you are working under pressure. So this ability will also set you apart from other people, and it will make people sit up and notice you, because you are a decisive person. Now, an actionable tip for this: take responsibility and ownership for your decisions. Once you have made them, stick by it. Last but not the least is networking, and how can we negate the importance of interpersonal skills when we talk of effective networking. So in this connection, it is important to understand one concept. If you provide value to someone, they are more likely to return the favor. That is an important principle of making new connections, be it in person, be it on your professional platforms, on LinkedIn or wherever it is, that if you help more people to get what they want, you will inevitably get what you want. And an actionable tip for developing and cultivating your networking skills is, remember, it's a two-way game. Do not just think of your benefit, but also think of ways you can provide value to others. So these were some of the soft skills, just 10 of the soft skills at work, and they will be very, very useful if you can start developing and cultivating them from now onwards. So now that we are ending 2022, embarking on our new year of 23, think of how you can develop all these soft skills, and you can always have a great career ahead. And think of the mindset you have to inculcate, think of the skill sets you have to inculcate, and go forward, make your goals for 2023. Thank you so much.
All right. And we'd like to go into the questions and answers. I'm going to share with you before that these links that are on the screen here, including Seema's email, LinkedIn address, Linktree, and the link to her book.
Yes, that's a QR code which can be scanned, and that'll give my LinkedIn. Yes, all the.
And I'm also going to put the URL into the chat, but you can. She says scan the QR code. Okay, yes. Those are in, and we'll move on to our Q&A period. We have a number of questions that have come in so far. Joseph asks, as a high school graduate who's 36 years old, does this all apply to him?
Yes. Does it apply to him? Of course, very much so. So he's a high school graduate. Has he started working somewhere? Or?
Yeah, I'm assuming he's 36 years old, so I'm sure he's making a living.
Okay, yes. So he is making a living. So 36, I would say he is reaching the mid-career level. And, as I said, one needs to be a continuous learner. I have emphasized on that repeatedly. So when you are working in the beginning of your career, when you've started working, that is the time for learning and observing. However, when you have been in your career for a few years, then it is time to upskill, and then it is time to go to the next level. And this is the right time when you are 36. Try to take into account Take stock of your career till now. You must have set some goals in the beginning of your career. Have you reached those goals? Are you satisfied with where you are at present? Do you need to change? Do you need to have a different industry that you want to go to? Are you satisfied with where you are? Are you getting your promotions on time? Do you find your work challenging or not? So you need to answer all these questions, and then you see whether or not you are at the right place. If not, always try to see which skills you are lacking. Always try to see whether you need to reskill and upskill, or take a sabbatical, whatever it is, because at the mid career level it is all about scaling up, and at this stage there is a lot of competition, and there is only a few people can go to the next level, that is to the leadership level. And that is why it is important to be well armed with whatever challenges that are going to be coming up in the near future, well armed with the right kind of skills and the right kind of mindset. So that is what I have been emphasizing on, and definitely all these skills are going to help you.
Okay, thank you. So related to that, Padma asks if you can succeed in life without going to university.
There are so many. That's such an interesting question, Padma. And you don't really need to go to the university, because there is this mindset that education is everything. If you are well educated, you will be successful in life. No, not so. You could be passionate about so many other things. As I said, when you are a student, when you are in high school, you know that there are so many things that interest you. Find out about your passion and see if it can lead to somewhere. Maybe you can become an entrepreneur. We have talked about this person called Harlan Sanders, who was the founder of KFC. So he was a school dropout. He was not educated, but he had the resilience of spirit. Those are the things that are important. If you are motivated enough, if you believe in what you're doing, if you are passionate about a certain subject, a topic, or a certain activity, just go ahead with learning that. Deep dive into it. Do not go into extensive things, because university and our kind of educational system teaches so many different things which might or might not be valuable. But if you have found your core interest, just deep dive into it, learn everything about it, become an expert, and then the sky is the limit. You will always be in demand. So this is what I feel. University education is specifically not important if you want to have career success. Not really.
Yeah, there's a big debate in the United States about the value of university education, and people are pointing out that depending on what you've studied in university, you may end up with a lot of student loan debt and less earning potential than someone who went into a technical trade directly from high school. So it all depends on where you're going and what your ultimate plan is.
And there are so many vocational courses that they can do, so that it doesn't take more than 6 months or 1 year. You are trained in that, and then you can go forward. Yes.
Yep. Raghavan asks how to upgrade to a kind of multi-level skill set like you have, which is, he says, in our routine work, we don't get much time for learning. So what advice do you give to somebody who needs to carve out that time to learn and grow?
Time, of course, I think we all have the time. We are all busy people. But if you have the interest, as I said, time management or prioritization. You are busy at your work, but when you come back, or maybe in the morning, carve out some time for for any activity that you want to learn, for any skill that you want to upgrade, for any skill that you want to learn again, enhance your prospects, enhance your talents. So time management is very important. And as I said, you can make a to-do list. Always have a to-do list, or a time block. We call it a time block chart or a calendar. So anything that you want to learn, You can fit in half an hour or 1 hour into your day and learn that. So, being busy, everyone has the same 24 hours. Some people achieve so much more. Some people keep on talking about lack of time. So, yes.
I'm going to put into the Q&A, by the way, in response to a similar question. You did a webinar with us January of this year about time management, and I'm going to put a link to that.
Yes.
And in the meantime, Nasrumar says, we say bloom where you are planted. How does that hold for a negative environment where you don't feel like you have the soil to grow, to bloom?
Okay, so if it is a negative environment in the sense that if she is talking about people who are not very, you're not very conducive to work with, or maybe the manager or the seniors are not very helpful. So if she is talking about that kind of a toxic environment, the first thing you should do is take action about it. Why not? If you feel that some person is hampering your growth or not letting you grow the way you want to in an organization, why not have a one-to-one with that person straight away? Now, if that is not possible, and if you have done it and if you have failed, it has had no effect, then you need to take certain other measures. And you can think of, if you cannot just survive in that kind of an environment, why not think of changing, not immediately, but why not thinking of changing your job? Also, that I would suggest, because your growth is very important, your personal development is also very important, and if you're not allowed to grow like this in your place of work, then you need to think about it seriously, because you cannot stagnate in that place where you are put down all the time. You need to think about it, maybe take some time off. Do not leave your job immediately. Take some time off in the mornings, in the evenings, and try to work on your own self. And then when you have acquired certain skills, you may think of switching your job to a better environment.
That makes sense. Vinay asks, sometimes we have fulfillment and work aligned to our organizational goal. All of that is wonderful, but our compensation is less compared to the industry, and less than what we feel we need. How do you make a decision about that situation? What are the options you can have?
Yeah. So if you feel that your remuneration is not up to the mark, you feel that you deserve more, then first of all, you have to self introspect. Why am I getting less than the industry standard? So you ask yourself that. Maybe I am just doing my routine job. Maybe I am just doing what the job description has asked me to do, and I'm not going beyond that role at all. Am I providing value? More value to my organization? Am I taking on more initiatives? Am I doing certain things which I have not been asked to do? So, am I doing all these things and making myself noticeable to the managers or to the decision makers? Ask yourself that. And if you feel that yes, you are contributing a lot, then you should again have a talk with the people, and you should say that this is what I have, this is what my skill sets are, this is what my role is, and I'm doing so much more as well. I am providing value to my organization. Give them concrete figures, and then ask for a raise, and or whatever it is that you are looking for, ask for that, and you will surely get it. So first of all, you have to make an effort to make them realize that you are a valuable asset to the organization. Only then will they give you that kind of a raise that you are looking for.
Okay, thank you. So we have several questions from people who are looking to switch from one domain to another. Jyoti, for example, says, can I get a job if I have a BCom degree and good knowledge of Java? Rakesh, is in a construction company IT department and wants to move formally into the IT sector. Ankur is a network architect, feels his job has become stagnant and repetitive, and he's worried about ageism at mid-career. He's 35 years old with 12 years of experience, but he's wondering if he's getting too old to do a job switch. What do you advise to people in the situation where they want to make that change?
35 is not at all old to do a job switch, not at all. You're young enough. And as I said, you are approaching your mid-career level. This is the time, this is the deciding time, whether you want to stagnate in your job or you want to grow. So if you want to grow, maybe look at your skill sets. Look at your skill sets. If you want, you can go for a sabbatical and upskill. Look for that. That option is always there. And in your job, whatever job that you're doing, have you displayed any leadership skills, for example, or any other soft skills? So these kind of skills, adaptability, leadership skills, communications, these are all transferable skills. That means they can be transferred from one industry to another. So these are cross-functional skills. All these skills can be helpful in any industry that you go to. So do not think that you can be, you will be redundant in some other place, because you have certain skills which you can highlight. So carry those skills from this job to your next job, whichever one you want to do, and highlight when you're going for interviews, highlight what achievements, what skills you have, which can be transferred to the next job. So yes, it is never too late to switch jobs, not at all.
Okay. And that kind of relates to a question from Chaitali, who asks about having completed a professional certificate in blockchain, how does he deal with companies who want professional experience? How does he emphasize his qualifications so that they look past hiring him as a fresher in the field?
Okay, so she doesn't have the requisite qualifications for that, perhaps?
Has the qualifications through a professional certificate, but not professional experience.
Experience, yes. So this also happens then. What you can do is, if you have the skills but not the experience, you can join a not-for-profit organization, if that is possible. Join a not-for-profit organization, work there, work on improving your skills over there and using and learning your skills over there. And of course, you will not be paid. Maybe you can do something on the weekend and contribute in that place, in that not-for-profit organization, and brush up your skills over there. That way you will gain the experience, so that when you are ready to come back to this job, you will be well armed with experience as well, which you can use in the existing job.
Okay. We have a couple of questions about career breaks. Nancy asks, how do you stay motivated during an extended career break? And Pooja asks, how do you handle a career break just in general when you're trying to re-enter the workforce?
Yeah, so career breaks, of course, are very common these days, and it's not even a big issue now. There are so many reasons that can, lead you to have a career break. For instance, you are a woman, so maybe you are raising a family, or for any other reason. I'm not even talking about that. So when you want to re-enter the workforce, you find that whatever you had been doing, because technology is advancing at a very rapid pace. So whatever skills that you are using at that time, your technical skills that you feel are now outdated. Suppose you join after 4 or 5 years, or you're thinking of joining after 4 or 5 years. So the first thing when you are taking a career break is find time to keep up with the changing skills. Always important to upskill, always important to see what your industry demands, because of the changing scenarios. What are the skills that are most in demand in your industry? And with that in mind, keep on learning new skills, and do not be guilty. I mean, as you're saying, how to handle it, do not be guilty about taking a career break, because you must have taken it for a very valid reason. So stick with your decision, but always keep your networking skills alive, because when you were working, there were so many people you were in contact with, and always keep those connections alive, because people buy from people. So word of mouth recommendations will also help, and if you are in touch with those people, they can always pitch in, they can always put in a good word for you when you think of rejoining. So these are certain things which you can do, and then when you are rejoining, you go for your interviews. Be confident about yourself, because now you are armed with all those skills that your role demands. So these are some of the ways in which you can stay positive about a career break and still go back and rejoin at the same level or even better than that.
Thank you. Answer asked a question. What do you do when you get confused about choosing a career path? How do you get clarity on that?
Yes. So choosing a career path, it's very important to find out your purpose. Your why is very important. There is a very nice book, Find Your Why. Is it Find Your Why or Start with Why by Simon Sinek? So then that says that what is your purpose in life? The same concept is shared in the book called Ikigai. Why do you want to do a certain thing? What is the root cause? Is it you want a job because of the money? Is it because you want to sustain a family? Is it because of faster promotions? So find out exactly what your aim is, and then go and choose your career path. So your purpose in finding your professional life, your purpose in your personal life is very important, because you need to have a work-life balance, and your why then becomes very important in choosing your career path.
Okay. And we're getting close to the end of the available time, so I just want to ask one more question, I think, which has to do with how do you put your best foot forward? How do you give a good... We have a question from Abdul who says, he's got a Bachelor of Engineering in ECE. How does he... just graduating, and how do you give a good, effective self-introduction to let people know what you're about and why they should, for example, hire you?
Okay, so this person has no experience. He is still to enter the work arena, I suppose.
It seems that.
Yes. So then when you are going for an interview, which is what I assume you would be doing soon, you will have to, of course, the first question might be, tell me something more, tell me something about yourself. So do not introduce yourself in the regular way, my name, I mean, I have my college, my education, my qualifications, because all that is already there in your resume. So what you have to talk about is why you have been chosen, why you have been called for this interview, why you have been thought capable enough that you are sitting in this interview. So talk about your achievements. Even as a student, you have so many achievements which you can highlight. Talk about where all you have interned. Your internships are important. Is there anything that you have achieved in those internships? Any awards, any accolades, any skills that you can highlight? Also talk about the so many volunteering activities that you might have gone through, you might have undertaken. So all these things will bring out your skills in a very, very subtle manner. So you don't have to talk about your skill. I have leadership skills, or I have, I am a team player. the way you introduce yourself, talking about your achievements, your volunteering activities, your internships, and all these things that you have achieved in your student life, that itself will bring out whether or not you are the right person for the job or not. So this is the way you must introduce yourself. Be creative about it. Tell a story about yourself, but be very, very subtle about highlighting certain traits that you have, highlighting certain qualities that you have. So it might seem like a story, but you are putting in your qualities and skills that the other person will appreciate. So this is one way of introducing.
Thank you. Okay, and I apologize to everyone. We had over 4,000 and almost 5,000 people who registered for today's webinar. And so with about 1,000 people showing up, we had far more questions than we could get to, so I apologize if we haven't gotten to your question. But I'm going to go ahead and get to the conclusions of the webinar. Oops, sorry, doing the wrong thing here. This is the button I meant to push. So we've just concluded questions and answers. I'm going to go back real quick, sorry for the flashing here, and run the poll that I was not able to run before. This gives us a kind of a feel for who's in the audience. Come on. Oh. All right. Oh my gosh. Oh, good Lord. It's doing it again. Okay.
Some issues there.
Hello, I am back. Hello again. And I'm not able to share my screen without causing a failure of the system. So I'm just going to go ahead and run the poll without slides. For some reason, when I share my screen, the system freezes up on me, so I'm not going to do that. we're just going to go ahead and go to the conclusion of the program. I am going to ask, if I can, one polling question. Nope, not allowed. So I have to say thank you to everybody. And we're going to say thank you to Seema for spending so much time with us and sharing so generously of her knowledge. Really appreciate that. And we thank you all for being here. We advise you to follow us on Twitter and Facebook at Simplilearn. And you can follow us on LinkedIn. Simplilearn is the name. And then we look forward to seeing you at future webinars. We'll be on Zoom the next time you see us instead of WebEx. And hopefully that means we won't have these types of technical difficulties. So again, thank you everyone for being here, and thank you, Seema.
Thank you so much, Stuart. Thank you all the participants. Would love to connect with everyone. Thank you.
Okay, take care and have a great rest of your day or evening.